Good morning. This is teacher Ricardo. We're going to start the video for the class on Monday, June 1st, 2020. Okay, first I'm going to start with some information that is going to be very relevant and important for you because we're going to be using it on your workbook. Okay, and it says remember to be polite when asking for directions and don't forget to say thank you. That's very important, okay? Now we have 5 different examples on how to ask for directions. The first one, it says, how do I get to? This one right here. And it says, this is the simplest way to ask someone for directions. When you use this phrase, the other person will either tell you which mode of transport, like bus or underground, like the metro in Mexico or subway, to take, or will explain your route. Okay, this is the first example. The next one, could you tell me the best way to get to? And now this is a very polite way to ask for directions. Okay, as you can see, we're using the modal at the beginning, so it's very polite. Now the next one, where exactly am I? Now, if you're traveling to England or to English-speaking country and you ask for directions, you still might get lost. And in order to get new directions, you might need to find out where exactly you are. For example, which street you are on. If this is the case, ask this particular question. Now the next one, this one right here, it says, what is the quickest way to get to? Now let's pretend you have to catch a bus, and this bus comes at certain time in the day. So you need to get to the bus stop quickly. If you need to go somewhere fast, ask this question. Okay, now the last one right here, it says, where is? This phrase is also useful when asking for directions. I use this phrase mostly with where is the bathroom, usually. This phrase is used when you know you are very close to your destination. You just need a little guidance in finding the place. Okay, now at the bottom, right here, this is the source. I got this information from this page in the internet if you want to take a look at it. So I am showing you this information because we're going to be using it on your book, and it's important that you have an idea of how to ask for directions. Okay, now I'm going to switch to your book right here. Okay, as you can see, this is the workbook. Okay, and now we're going to start with this one right here. Answer the questions. Can you remember how to express yourself? What do you say to ask for directions to the cafe in a museum? Okay, now the book is giving us some specific questions, but in real life, you need to come up with your own ideas in the case that you don't remember what the book said. Okay, now in the case of the first one, it says to ask for directions to a cafe in a museum. Now one example, you can start with, can you tell me where the cafe is? In the case that if you're in the museum. Now number 2, it says, what do you say to tell someone to continue in the direction they are going? Okay, you can say, continue on Main Street until you see the 7-Eleven, for example. Or you can also say, continue forward, or continue in the direction that you are going to. Or another example could be, how do I get there? Okay, now the next one, number 3, it says to ask how an audio guide works. Let's say that you are in the museum and the guide explains to you how the audio guide works, but you didn't get it at the first time. Therefore, you have to ask something like this. Sorry, can you go over that again, please? Okay, this is an example from your book, but if like I told you, in real life, you need to come up with your own ideas or experiences. And one that is really easy to remember is, can you repeat that, please? Okay. Now, number 4, to offer to repeat instructions for someone. Now, in the book is also giving us an example that is very used in England, because it says, whereabouts is the shop? Okay. Another example that is more common here in the United States, it's really easy. Where's the shop? Where's the coffee shop? Or where's the museum? Can you repeat the instructions, please? Okay, like the one before. So this is an example. Now, if you have your book, your workbook, you need to answer this information, and it's going to be on page 80 of your your workbook. Okay. Now the next activity right here, it says complete the dialogue, listen and check. Okay, as you can see, we have different blank spaces. I'm going to play the audio. Pay attention to it, please.
Excuse me, I only have a few hours to visit the Tower of London. Can you tell me where the crown jewels are?
Of course. They're in the Royal Collection, and that's in the Jewel House.
Where exactly is that on the map?
Look, it's just here. It's next to the chapel.
Okay, thanks. Now, I'd like to see the famous ravens after that. Where are they?
Next to the White Tower. Go straight out of this door and you'll see them in front of you.
Okay, let me just go over that again with you. So, out of that door over there, and they're outside?
That's right. If you have any problems, find one of my colleagues.
Thanks.
Okay, if you need to listen to the audio again, please rewind the video and listen to it again. And it's really easy and very comprehensible, the audio. For example, here it says, Marco, excuse me, I only have 8 hours to visit the Tower of London. So the answer will be few. I only have a few hours, okay? Now, right here it says, can you me where the crown jewels are? Right here you have to write the answer, which is going to be tell me. Okay, now the next one, of course, they are in the Royal Collection, and that's in the Jewel House. And then Marco says, where is that on the map? He needs to know exactly the location on the map. So the question is like this, where exactly is that on the map? Now the next one says, look, it's here. It's next to the chapel. Okay, and the answer is, it's just here, just here. And I'm assuming that the employee is pointing at the map with a finger or probably with a pencil and showing it's just here. Okay, then Marco, okay, thanks. Now I'd like to see the famous ravens after that. Where are they? And the employee says, next to the White Tower. Go straight out of this door and you'll see them. Okay, go straight, 2 words, go straight. It means like in Spanish, continúa derecho, go straight. Okay, now the next one, Marco. Okay, let me just go over that again with you. Go over is like he wants to confirm or he wants to repeat the information to make sure he got it correct. Okay, so the answer is, let me just go over that again with you. Now the next one right here is the employee. It says, that's right. If you have any, find one of my colleagues. If you have any problems, that's what the audio said. You can also go like this. If you have any issues or if you have any questions, okay? So please write it down on your workbook. Remember that we are going to be checking your answers on your workbook later on. Okay, now let's go to the next activity, which is this one right here. Now what we have to do, we have to read the dialogue and write the correct answers. Okay, before we read the dialogue, it's important to read the information that we are looking for. And number one says, Sandra is going to see an exhibition about. The employee advises Sandra not to press start until. The pause and repeat icons are found. And then number four, if Sandra wants to look at the exhibits, at the exhibits in a different order, she can. Now the employee tells Sandra that if she has any more problems, she should. Now what we have to do, we need to read the information, and the answer for the first one is right at the beginning of the article right here. Sandra is going to see an exhibition about, and it says right here, Sandra, excuse me, I got this audio guide for the fashion and design exhibition. Right here, this is the answer for the first one, because Sandra is going to see an exhibition about fashion and design. Okay, so please write it down on your workbook. Number two, the employee advises Sandra not to press start until. Let's find out. Right here, the employee tells Sandra, wait until you get into the exhibition before you press start. So the answer right here, the employee advises Sandra not to press start until she is in the exhibition. Okay, now number three, the pause and repeat icons are found. Let's see, where are the icons? And let's see it right here. Then just press the start icon. Stop at each exhibit and listen to the guide. Okay, what do I do if I want to pause the guide or repeat it? In that case, just press the pause button, repeat icon right here. At the bottom of the screen, that's the location of the icons. So the answer for number three, it's going to be the pause and repeat icons are found at the bottom of the screen. See, it's really easy. Now number four, if Sandra wants to look at the exhibits in a different order, she can. Now let's see. Now, how do I find the right part in the audio guide? That's easy. Just key in the number of the exhibit you want to see here on the screen, and the guide will automatically go to that exhibit for you. See, right here is the answer for number four. So the answer will be like this. If Sandra wants to look at the exhibits in a different order, she can key in the number of the exhibit, and the guide will automatically go to that exhibit. Okay, now let's take a look at the last one. The employee tells Sandra that if she has any more problems, she should, right here, the last one, come and find me, and I can sort them out. Okay, if she has any problems. So the answer for the last one will be like this. The employee tells Sandra that if she has any more problems, she should go and find her or find him, because it doesn't specify if the employee is male or female. Okay, So please make sure you write all the answers on your workbook, please. Now let me see this one right here. Now the next one. We need to complete the dialogue in a museum. And it says the employee, good afternoon, how can I help you? And now you have to come up with an answer, like the thing that we have, or the instructions that we have inside the parentheses is this one. You want to know where the Roman murals are. So what do you have to tell, or what do you have to say? We have many options. The first one, if you want to be very polite, you can go like this. Could you, or would you tell me where the Roman murals are? If you don't want to be very polite, you can start with can. Can you tell me where the Roman murals are? Okay, this is one example. Remember, like I told you, you need to come up with your own ideas. This is only an example because in real life, in real situation, it's very different, okay? So try to remember or try to pronounce one or two options so you can have them in your mind. Now the next one, there on the second floor, just pass all the Roman pottery. Now you, as the employee, have to go, how to get there. Now, you can go like this. Can you show me the direction? Can you tell me how to get there? Or the one that the book is giving us is, how do I get there? Okay, remember that you have many options. You don't have to say exactly what the book says. Now you need to go up to the second floor. Right here is giving the instructions. Go straight through the first green room with the Roman bases and things, and then turn right and you'll see the murals, okay? Now ask for clarification because this guy speaks British English and sometimes it's difficult, or sometimes they speak too fast, and you need to ask them to repeat, but I mean slowly, okay? One example would be like this. Sorry, can you go over that again, please? You can say, sorry, can you repeat that information, please? Okay, now the next one right here, it says, okay, you go to the second floor, through the first room, turn right, and you're there. Now you want to ask where the shop is. You can say, like I told you, it's a weird word that is not very common in the United States, and it's like this. Whereabouts is the shop? But it's the same if you ask, where's the shop? Can you tell me where the shop is? Okay, different questions. I mean, you need to come up with your own ideas because, like I told you, real life is different. Now, the employee on the ground floor next to the entrance. And now, obviously, you have to thank the employee to not to be rude. Okay, you have to say, thank you very much. Okay, or thanks for your help or whatever. And the employee says, no problem. See? So please make sure you answer this activity on your workbook. Now let's see. This one right here, it says writing an article expressing purpose. Okay. Now let me see this one right here. I don't remember this part. Oh, okay, it says read Simon's article quickly. Okay. What sentence expresses that he has had a change of opinion? What may change his mind or have a different perspective of an opinion? Okay, now let's take a look at the first paragraph right here because the answer is right here. It said, last summer, I helped redecorate my local yacht club with my friends and a local graffiti artist. The experience has completely changed my attitude to graffiti. I used to think it was just mindless vandalism, but I can now see that it really is an art form. Okay? Now, what is the sentence that expresses that he has had a change of opinion? And it's going to be this one right here. The experience has completely changed my attitude to graffiti. Okay? Before he had a different idea about graffiti, but now when he was participating redecorating his local yacht club. Now that's something that changed his attitude or changed his mind about graffiti. So the answer is this one right here. Make sure you have to put it in a circle, okay? Now we have more information right here. We're going to get to that in a minute, okay? Now let's take a look at the first example. First, we listen to talk by the graffiti artist, so we could understand. We have two options. So the correct answer is going to be that. Okay, actually, so that. Okay, now let's continue to the next activity. I'm going a little bit fast because I just want you to go over this quickly because we're going to check all the information during virtual class. Again, we need to read Simon's article, and the title is The Art of Graffiti by Simon Westall. Last summer, I helped redecorate. Well, we have read this already. Okay, now let's continue to the next paragraph. First, we listen to a talk by the graffiti artist so that we could understand how graffiti can be used to transform a concrete wall into a creative mural. He explained how he plans his designs carefully so as to share the message in his murals with as many people as possible. In order to design our mural with our very own message, he encourages us to think about the people who would use the yacht club. In order not to leave anyone out, we held an open meeting and lots of people came along with ideas for the design. In the end, we all agreed on a mural based around music, sports, and friendship. The graffiti artist then helped us sketch our design onto the wall before we painted. It looks amazing. All in all, this was one of the most fulfilling experiences of my life. It was also one of the messiest. We had to be careful not to get covered in paint, but I still end up with paint everywhere. Next time you see graffiti on a wall, stop and have a closer look. Okay, so I just gave you the answers. Make sure you write it down on your workbook. Okay, the next activity right here. Is it this one? Yes, I think it's this one right here. We have to read Simon's article again. Okay, if you need to read again the information, go back a little bit in the video. And now it says, what did Simon do last summer? He helped redecorate his local yacht club. That's the answer for the first one. Number two, who did he work with? And if I remember correct, he was working with his friends and a local graffiti artist. Now, number three, what did the graffiti artist suggest in his talk? Okay, now I'm gonna have you complete 3, 4, 5, and 6 by your own, and we check this information during virtual class. Okay, so your homework is going to be to complete number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. Okay, now let me put a check mark. Number 3, number 4, number 5, and number 6. And this is going to be homework. Homework. Okay, very simple homework. Okay, guys, I'm going to stop the video right here and see you next month. Haha. Bye, guys.